The
Stupid.
last, the last time I got you, Wholesaler. This might be a lease option, Philly. Let's do it live.
Yeah, man. You know?
This is Chris. May I help you?
Sorry. I was calling to find out if the house still available.
Lori, have we talked already? Oh, I gotta let you know. This is being recorded for training purposes, Lori. I'm sorry.
Okay. Um,
Have we talked already? Or you? I don't. I'm trying to follow you. I want to help you, but what can I do for you? Lori? I guess she ain't like that. Everything's
Sure.
recorded. Huh?
Okay.
Everything's recorded, Philly. Everything.
Right. But that would have been great to
Let's see if I can get her back then.
have
This
on the
is
call.
yeah. Let's see if I can get her back.
Yeah.
She's calling back. Okay.
There you go.
Lori?
yes, the phone cut off, and I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even get any information."
It's all good. What you got?
Right. Excuse me.
I said, how may I help you?
I was just trying to find out if the house was still for rent.
Now, which one are we talking? What city are we
I
in?
think it's one Norfolk.
All right, Norfolk. We're on Longdale. Yes, it is available. Have you viewed it already?
Excuse me.
It is available, Lori.
Okay. And how much do you have to have down in first month? Some information.
Lori, okay, thank you for calling. Lori, I need to ask you, have you viewed the property yet?
I have not got to view the property. I just seen it on Craigslist. It does property from the picture. It looks very, very nice. But I wanted to call before I go and just get excited about something because women, we get attached very quickly. So
That is true. That is true.
I mean, we do. Once a woman likes something, it's like, I mean, if you have a significant other, I promise you, she's probably like, hey, dude, I love that diamond over there. But right. So I wanted to find out information. So when I go and view the house, that potentially that would be my goal to get into the house.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's do this so we don't waste a lot of your time. You sound very busy, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for noticing.
Let's do this. Before you go, the neighbor has the key. Call me 30 minutes before you go, and I will have the neighbor let you in. That way, we can not waste a lot of time because you may go in and you might hate it. We've spent a lot of time talking about numbers and all that crap, and it just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
You call me before you go. I have the neighbor let you in. You look at it. You like it. We'll do an application. You look at it. You hate it. We didn't waste any time.
Right. Thank you very much.
All right. When do you think he might be going over?
I'm very, very busy because tonight I have to work and I'm doing a double. So,
Okay, you go tomorrow. Just call me when. Just give me 30, 40 minutes before you go.
How about on a Wednesday?
That sounds good to me. It's
Okay.
30, 40.
I'll call you.
That sounds good. Okay.
All righty then. Thank you, Chris.
God bless you. All right, bye.
Bye.
Oh, wow. Is it okay if I go Wednesday? Yes, it's okay. I forgot to
So
cut my
this is a rental property, not a lease option?
What'd you say, Philly?
So I said this is a rental property, not a lease option situation?
Lease option only. I probably should have clarified that, but she saw my ad.
Oh,
I don't know. Philly people
okay.
call me. The ad says rent to own, down payment
Right,
needed.
okay.
They call me. They go,
Right.
is it a rental?
Gotcha. All right. So the ad did state that it was a lease option.
Lease. Well, yeah, rent to own. We don't do lease options, but yeah, they might not even understand
Right.
that. But yes, but rent to own, and then you got to have a down payment. I didn't want to go there with her. I could have kind of dug in a little more.
Exactly. Gotcha.
Yes. Iman, aka that, or is it She ain't that Philly
That
wholesaling
really
chick.
wholesale shit. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you for hanging out with us today,
Thank
Philly.
you for inviting me, Chris.
I'm so honored. Class, we got my friend Iman. We go way back, way
Way back.
back. And class, you know my mission statement. If you class, you guys know my mission statement. My ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. It's just an honor that I get to share the people that have kind of
Mhm.
tapped on my life over the years and changed the trajectory of my life. And I get to actually introduce you to some of the people that I admire and kind of look up to and do business with. Philly, thank you.
Yes.
Iman, class. Okay, today we're going to be talking about real estate wholesaling, hanging out with Iman. And are you in? You are in, no doubt, in Philly. Is it the city? Are you in Philly?
Yes, I live in the city of Philadelphia, but currently I'm in North Carolina as we're doing this doing this call.
Okay.
But I do. I reside and do all of my deals have been in Philadelphia except for one which closed in January, which was a property out in one of the counties, surrounding counties. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
it was a flip actually. So
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, class. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up for optimization purposes. Philly, I know you're busy, so I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. Class, Philly and I are going to go back and forth for about 30 minutes, and then at the end we'll do some Q&A. So please get your questions ready. If you like me, even your boy, I've been doing this shit since 2004. I have a notepad so
right,
I can have my questions down.
right.
Philly, for the two people that don't know what real estate wholesaling is, matter of fact, let me rewind. Are we starting with the what or the who? Let's do the who. Philly, give us a background on you first. Give us a background on you first.
Well, okay, so prior to making the transition into real estate wholesaling, I was a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, believe it or not. So
What is
I had
that?
yeah, I was a communications technician essentially. So what I did was I was part of that union, but I did communications work and we wired large data networks. So and actually when 9/11 happened, we were doing a project for Lehman Brothers in their New Jersey location. And as we all know, the towers went down. They were literally losing millions of dollars per second. So we had to,
Oh my
you know,
lord.
running quickly with that whole thing. So that's what I did prior to real estate wholesaling, and a pretty good living at it. But at the end of the day, it's a fixed income. I don't care if you're making $1 million a year at a job; it's still a fixed income because somebody else is determining, what and how much you make. So
Wow.
I'm in
No,
control of all of that now. So
and not only that, when you stop doing the thing, what happens to the money?
right, the money dries out. Right, exactly.
Mhm.
So
All right, so we get more about that. I'm sure that story you could probably write a book about that little few
right,
sentences you
I could.
just said.
I could.
All right, for the two people that don't know what wholesaling is, Philly, go ahead and break it down. I want to know your definition of what is real
My
estate
definition
wholesaling.
of wholesaling. So, I mean, everybody that's tuned in and listening or watching this training. I mean, wholesale essentially is just something that you get at a discount that is not available to everybody in the public. Correct. So it's the same thing with real estate. So, we're looking to, as a investor, wholesaler, whatever. I mean, you're looking for deeply discounted um, properties, not just something that you can buy. And, I always say that a deal is something that's going to make somebody jump up out of their seat. That's how you know whether you have a deal or not. You know what I'm saying? So wholesaling real estate, I'm going to give you an example. The deal I just closed, I mean, it was under contract for $150,000. And I actually sold it $2,500 above asking price. With my asking price, 100. I mean, I sold it 2,500 above my full asking price, which was 165,000.
All right, I'm scared. I'm messing up. I'm messing up my writing now. I know that ain't right. That ain't right there.
Right. It was under for 150 with the seller.
Those numbers ain't right. All right,
And
so this is original contract, 150K.
right, the agreement of sale was with the seller for $150,000. I marketed it for $165,000, and it sold $2,500 above full asking. So it sold for $167,500.
So okay, but your initial was you built in 15K for
Yeah,
you on this deal here.
right, exactly.
But you got multiple. Go ahead.
Right. So I'm going to share something on here that unless you're experienced, I wouldn't recommend you do this, but the deal, it was a lead that was given that came to me by way of a friend of mine who was the former in-law of this person. So I had tons of interest in the property. I never did a deal outside in the county. But I had scheduled a walkthrough. I didn't even have the property under contract when I got that full at $2,500 above full asking right. $2,500 above full asking price.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the contract actually until 3 days after they saw the property. So,
Hold
but I
up.
wouldn't recommend do
Hold
that.
up. Say that again. I didn't follow you.
So I was saying that property, right? I had the walkthrough on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. I had a $2,500 above full asking price by 11:45 that day.
The same
I
day.
didn't the same day, right? Was so less than 2 hours after the property was shown. And I didn't actually have an agreement of I didn't actually it wasn't that I didn't have an agreement of sale in place with the seller.
Oh,
3
yeah.
days um after after we had an offer. So like I said, I stress this, I wouldn't recommend you do that. You gotta really know what you're doing. You don't want to do that.
Working back. You had to know the buyer
Exactly.
though. Did you know the buyer, Philly?
The buyer, he actually works with the person who owns the company. So he was kind of like his uh field guy
You kind
that
of knew
made
him.
the
You
offer.
had to have knew him already though in order for
I
you
knew
to.
the guy whose business it was,
All right, so
but this is
there.
out.
There's a there.
So
Well, my point is there was a relationship there.
right, there was a relationship there. Exactly. So, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. But
You better
yeah.
not. They could be
So
calling
you
me
have to
up.
understand that, I was actually there were a lot of things that play at this in this deal. So I wanted to make sure I could get this thing sold. I didn't want to put it under agreement until I knew for certain I could get it sold at the price I was asking for. Because I didn't want to have to then go back to the seller, which is, hopefully you're taking notes. Because initially when you're making your offer, you want to make sure what you're offering them is at a deep of enough of a discount that you can make money on the deal, but it's still a deep discount to your investor buyer. Follow what I'm saying? So there are folks that'll say they don't really care what the price is as long as the numbers work. But you always your buyers, you want to have a reputation in this business that I mean, and I'm saying this was something that someone said about me, a buyer of mine. He said to one of his best friends to call me because I always have great deals, right? So you want to have that reputation. You want your investor buyer, they're your customer at the end of the day, right? So you want them to always feel like they're getting if not rock bottom, damn near rock bottom price. So understand what I'm saying? So that's why I did what I did. I wanted to make sure I sold it at that price. I had a feeling I could, but I didn't want to go through having it under, like I said, under agreement with the seller, and then I couldn't. So that's why you want to make sure your numbers are as accurate as possible when you do go. You have the your agreement of sale. You don't want to have to go back to them and say, can we have a price reduction? You know? So if you do all that from the door, then you don't find yourself having to backtrack like that. Have I had to do it in the past? Yes, I have. Do I have to do it on a regular basis? No, I don't. So know your number. If you don't take anything else from what I just said, numbers. You got to know your numbers, right?
So how did you get
So
if you only want if you marketed it for 165, how did you get 167.5?
because they
Or did you
offered 2,500 because they knew it was competition. It was they knew they knew what that this was a hot property. So before anybody else, they wanted the whole having to bid against other people. So they offered 2,500 above full asking price per
Okay, so
door.
they bought you. They told you, listen, we'll give you X just so you don't even blast this one out to your other
Right,
buyers.
right, right, exactly.
That's smart.
So
That way they don't have to bid the shit up. It could have went for more. I mean, obviously
right,
you're in the mindset of
right,
medium-sized pigs continue to get fed, fat pigs go to the
right,
slaughterhouse.
right,
So you were like, you know what? I got a bird in the hand. I'm thinking I'm done.
right.
Good for you, Philly. Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Not bad. 17.5 is not bad.
Yeah, shit.
Uh,
I know some people don't
but
make that in a half of a year, my friend.
right, exactly.
6
So
months of work. Okay, so that's your
I
version of wholesaling. So we understand we get a property under contract. We're gonna sell that
right,
contract and get a check.
right, absolutely. And
Nice.
here, I don't know how it's done down in VA in the Hampton Roads area, Chris, but so I mean, we typically once the contract is submitted to the title company and they begin, they send us over the title commitment. It typically takes 7 days for the title report to come back, and once it's back, provided everything is, on the up and up, and there aren't issues that need to be addressed, it's just a matter of setting a closing date and a time. So actually, I have a situation now. One of the deals that we're waiting to, sign an agreement of sale on. The guy was like last week, how quickly can you close? I told him 2 weeks. I mean, just I always say 7 to 10 days, provided there aren't any title issues with the property. So it's just a matter of getting on the putting yourself on the calendar. It's a day and a time that works for the title company, works for the seller, and a day and time that works for the buyer. So and that's it. I mean, you're in and out. That's a beautiful thing about all cash deals and not having to qualify for seeing you're looking at 30, 45, maybe 60 days before something closes. That's stuff that happens in the world of being a real estate agent, which I am licensed as a real estate agent in the state of Pennsylvania.
I didn't know that.
But I'm a year now, so
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So it's
Okay.
it's not a whole lot of time waiting around for your money,
Hmm.
all- right?
Usually. Well, I'm thinking if you're
Well,
dealing with
I'm just saying, all things being equal. So, I mean, this is, the ideal scenario is that there aren't any title issues. Now, if there are title issues, of course, it's going to take longer. But ideally, you're looking at 7 to 10 days from start to finish. From the time that I submit the agreement of sale and the assignment contract.
Mhm.
You have two um, agreements in place. The one with the seller, the original agreement of sale, assignment contract with your investor buyer, because
Gotcha.
you're assigning a right, you're removing yourself from this transaction and putting somebody else in your place.
Yeah.
So, and it's all legal. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not legal. It's 100% legal.
Look, I
Okay.
don't even want to go there, man. Yeah, we're not even. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
All right, yeah, we're over that. Let's talk about
Right.
your formula, Philly. Your formula. Is that something that I could write down, or is that something that you have in your mind, or what? Your house buying
Uh,
formula.
my buying formula.
House
Um,
buying formula. Do you have one?
So I mean, yeah, there's marketing involved. That's
I'm
part.
talking about
That's
your formula. Your formula. Forget all the moving parts on that. I just want
well,
to know when you
yeah.
look at a
I
house.
mean, right. So I mean, in terms of after ARV and all that type of stuff that help you to determine what to offer.
Yeah, for viewers that are just kind of getting in and they want to understand how the hell do I
Right.
make an offer in the house? I'm not even buying it. I don't even know how to make an
Right.
offer.
Now, this is an easy way, and I learned this from someone else. I didn't. This isn't proprietary.
They're speaking
Even
through you. They're speaking through you and coming to us. Let's do it.
right. So, I an easy way to figure out what you should,
Mayo.
because we like easy, right? So
Yes.
an easy way, right? And Mayo is your maximum allowable offer, right? Um. So all right, Chris has got me doing the Mayo thing,
We don't
but
have to. I mean, I just if you have any
let me just
questions.
let me just say let me just say this, that an easy way really for me, right? Because I like easy, quick and fast, right? I really go by what properties have sold for cash. All
So
right.
that's the low. So that's an equation too. The lowest. So you're at Mayo equals lowest cash sold comp or average sold comp.
Well, yeah, essentially.
Average
So
cash sold comp.
these are all the things that that determine uh, what properties have sold for in and around that your subject property within a quarter mile, because that's the most accurate picture you're going to get of, what this property potentially is worth, right? And what it's potentially worth in its current condition, right? So you need to know, is this something that needs a full rehab? So, I mean, I have MLS access. I don't know, who doesn't on this training, but I'm able to look at the pictures of what has sold to get to get a feel of what kind of condition the property was in for it to sell for what it sold for. So I
Mm,
factor in, the condition of what properties have sold for in and around their property within a quarter mile, the block, right? How decent is the block? Um, the extent of with this, potential rehab, is there structural damage, stuff like that, and what was I going to say? I kind of lost my train of thought, but oh, and then are there now? I don't know how things are for you guys in down there, but in Philadelphia, water and gas run with the land. So, one
mm,
things that I want to ask
wow.
folks are there any outstanding utility bills or outstanding? Well, I can check the real estate taxes on my own,
Hmm.
but I ask just to see what kind of response they're going to give me.
So we're
So
looking. But
all of those things factor into what I'm gonna, what my offer is gonna be, and then what I can potentially price my deal at to get it sold.
I like that. So
Now,
average. Go
other
ahead.
formula that Chris was kind of pretty much alluding to, how you want to determine your after repair value. What things have sold for, from a retail standpoint. You want your three, you know, highest comps, right? You divide that number by three, right? And then all that stuff I just said, you need to deduct that from that to determine what your maximum allowable offer is going to be. So you have to factor in, repair costs, right? If there are any outstanding utility bills or outstanding real estate taxes, that stuff needs to be deducted from that number to say, to the seller, look, this is what we're able to offer, and this is why, not just what we're able to offer, but why we're able to offer what we're able to offer. You
Mm.
follow what I'm saying? So you have to create a picture for them as to why your offer is what it's gonna why your offer is what it is. So
Let's
there's
segue.
multiple. Go
There
ahead.
are
I'm
multiple.
sorry.
Yeah, let's stay there for a minute. Let's stay in that framework, Philly, because I know some people are like, I can't offer a house. No doubt, this house that you bought for 150 is worth. I mean, in my book, if I'm buying it for 150, it's got to be worth 250. So I don't know
Well,
what was the
more than
ARV on
that.
that one.
Yeah.
or
It was
more.
more
Yeah.
than that. Yeah, more than that. Yeah.
So some people are saying, "Well,
So,
Philly, I can't offer 150 on a house that's worth 280." I mean, well, that just doesn't make sense to me. Help for our viewers, Philly, so that help them break it down for them.
well, okay. So you need to. One of the things you want to do is you want to ask the seller why they are selling. This particular
Why?
seller needs to know. So you don't want just you have people who are interested in driving. This is so I'm gonna tell you. Anytime you talk to somebody and they say, well, it depends on what you're willing to offer. They're not a motivated seller.
I like that.
Okay.
Repeat that. It
Uh,
depends. Say that again, Philly.
the ones who say that, well, it all depends on what you're willing to offer. Well, it's a little difficult to make an offer on something that I have no information about other than the property address. I don't know what the condition is. Are there any liens and judgments? Are there, how much work the property needs? And then you get folks that want to get cute. They think that they know more than you know, right? But your goal, what you want to be dealing with, ideally, is somebody who's super motivated to sell. And this particular person, this property that sold, Chris, by the way, was placed inside of a trust. So it was a
Mm.
lesson for me too, because I had never done a deal where a property was placed in a trust. And one of the main benefit of placing a property in a trust is that it doesn't have to go through a probate process. So,
I'm so glad you're talking about that because I'm going to do a class tomorrow between 2 and 3. I'm going to do a full trust class. But go ahead, Philly.
oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
right. So yeah, this property. So this person needed to sell. They needed to. There was a lot of debt that this person accrued,
Hmm.
and they needed to sell in order to pay off the debts that they had. So they were like kind of like really under the gun.
Was that their
So
motivation, Philly, to get out of this? It was debt relief.
yes, debt relief. Yep, absolutely.
Why
So
were
they,
why were they selling? I don't know. I didn't hear you say why they were selling this one.
well, because they had some debt. What that debt was, I don't know specifically, but they were in a dire situation where they really needed to get access to some cash, and this was the vehicle to do it,
Mm,
which was the property that her parents owned
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
before they passed away. So she was able to move her belongings into another property.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
yes, yeah. So that's how
Okay.
that works. So you want to know what the motivation is for selling. I mean, you don't want people wasting your time. People that, oh, it depends on what you're willing to offer. Look, and then this is the other thing. Like, it works for me 9 times out of 10. You ask somebody. I never ask anybody what they want because they could want the world. Could want the moon. Well, I always ask them, what do you need in order to sell? A
Hmm.
need is different than, right? So, why is it that you need to sell? Right. So, and so for folks that need to sell, they're going to be speaking a different language than somebody that, is not really that motivated. So what I was going to say was that I totally was trying to lose my
You're talking
oh,
about the motivation. Why are they selling?
right. So then, when people say, well, I really don't know. And so I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to, it's really about me not wasting my time. But I don't want to waste your time. Put them first, right?
There you
I
go.
don't want time, and I don't want to waste mine either. And so it doesn't make sense for me to come out to a property to take a look at something if we're not on the same page before I get there. So when I don't know what it is about that, but when I present it to them that way, for some reason they give me a number. So you might want to write that down. So
Say that. Let me write that down, Philly. Go ahead. Give me what is that line?
right. So when
Can't come
people,
out.
you know, right, they don't want to just come right out and say what they want, because trust me, my belief is that everybody knows what number they want,
Heck
right?
yeah.
They just may not be willing to tell you. So
Mhm.
when that happens, you want to say to them, you know, I don't want to waste your time, nor do I want to waste mine in coming out for those folks that want to say, well, just come and take a look at the property. Listen, we get calls all the time for folks that, want to sell their property. It's not a good use of my time to run out to every single property because they want you to, right? So don't want to waste your time, nor do I want to waste mine. And that's being honest. I don't want to waste my time either. So I need to know I need a ballpark figure of what you're looking for. And generally, I get a number, right? So I'm just saying,
Like
that's
that.
something. Uh,
I like
it's not what is that stuff called? Like what is that stuff?
NLP.
NLP or whatever. Yeah, neuro linguistic programming or whatever the heck it
Hmm.
is. A list of some kind of response by the way that you couch your words, but
Yeah.
it works.
Nice.
It works. So
That's good
and
to get
at
a
the end of
number.
the you're running a business. I hope everybody that's watching this, that's on this, understands that you're running a business. This isn't just something that I don't know. Maybe, whether you're doing it part time or not, you should still treat it like a business.
You daggone right.
You understand what I'm saying? And you don't want to waste your time, right? You're running a business at the end of the day. Whether
Hmm.
you want, you're not able to really do anything real estate related until after your 9 to 5. But during that time, right? You don't want to waste your time, right? You work a full time job. You may have families, children, and spouses and things like that, and you want to, you don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
So, it can be
Okay, so we covered your formula, house buying that. Let's talk about getting started, Philly, before we get into a little bit of marketing, finding cash buyers, all that crap. I want to know your story. Tell me little bit about how you got started.
right. So essentially, I found myself. I moved back to Philadelphia. It was like one of the lowest points of my life. I was about to turn 39. And I had moved. Well, it was just really supposed to be a temporary situation going back to Philly because I was having problems with my leg, and my parents. I needed them to be my legs for me. So I lost my apartment. So I had zero income coming in because I couldn't work.
Wow.
So yeah, literally, probably was like it was probably not even a shoestring. A shoestring budget is really actually probably being
That's high.
kind, right, to my
Wow.
situation. So, but the way that because of that, I'm actually grateful for that because it forces you to think outside of the box,
Make money
right?
without money, perhaps?
Right. And tap into resources that you normally probably wouldn't even tap into had you not had it not been for those circumstances of not really having the money to really go hard at marketing. So I stumbled upon this site, and I'll share it. Um, it's unique to Philadelphia, but it's still called PhillyFireNews.com. So
Okay.
they would all put every fire that they had in the city of Philadelphia would go on this website with the property address, everything. They don't do the block, like the 5700 block of Belmar
Whatever.
Terrace, right?
Yeah.
There's a one. So
Okay.
they'll give you they won't give you the actual, they no longer provide the address. So it was like, wow, mine for me. And
Keep
that's
going, Philly.
how
Keep
actually,
going. I gotta run into down here. I'm listening, but keep going.
okay. So when I discovered this site, it was like I said, it was a gold mine because I really didn't have the financial resources to market. So, I would jot, I took down the property addresses of the different properties that had a fire in those nights, where I knew investor investing heavily in our city. So that's how I got my first deal. So I started 2010, the end of 2010. So I don't know, October, and by January 2011, I had my first deal under contract. It was a fire damaged property. Like I said, we negotiated it. We had it under contract. I don't know if you guys even have numbers like this where you are, but we had it under contract, put it under contract, $4,000. $4,000 is what we had for the seller. $4,000 for this fire property. And had it out. So all investment and start rehabbing the property. Did we sell it? No, we did not. No, we did not. We put it out there for $7,000 signs. Because listen, I had to work with what I had, man. Okay, bandit signs, and we didn't get any buyers. I mean, we didn't. You know, we had to cancel the agreement with the seller because, you know, a couple weeks
That's
ago.
your first one.
My first deal, right?
So I want to
First
say
deal I
that
had.
just for a second, because I want people to know that it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
You will not die. Hopefully you won't commit suicide, but it's okay.
Right.
Billy, I mean, you're still here. You live
Right.
to tell about it. It's okay for our viewers.
Right. So that was the first deal that was put under contract. Like I said, it was a 3-month time I started, you know, until we first under contract. Now the benefit of that experience was I had a business partner at the time. We were able to build a buyer's list because of we didn't get the property sold, but we were able to because it didn't seem as if the in for this deal until after we had canceled the contract. You know what I mean? So the takeaway from that experience was we were able to start building our buyers list for that part of town. So that was that experience. So, and I'm a big everything is to your benefit. It may not seem like on the surface that like, oh, this stuff is working out. You know what I mean? We couldn't get it sold, blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna say that the end of 2010, so it took us 8 months before our first property sold. And the reason why that it took 8 months from the time I started till 8 months, you know, and it had title issues. So had it had title issues, it would have been 5 months after I had initially started, you know, wholesale, you know, looking to wholesale. So, but it did close. We sold it for full asking price. We only made 5 grand. Like it's like, you know, it's like, you know, we just took it. That's what was offered. And it was like, boom, you know? So it was like 2,500. And actually we didn't even walk with that because guess what? There was a water bill and a gas bill. And my buyer, I was like, yeah, my seller was like, she wasn't paying it. And if we wanted it, we were going to pay it. So our buyer paid the one bill, the lesser of the two. And my business partner and I had to eat the large bill.
How much was that
So
one?
it was like 2 something. So yeah, so
2,000?
that was, you know, one half of our assignment fee. Yeah. So we probably wound up making, I don't know.
3 grand, whatever. You still made something.
Like that. But listen, I'm gonna tell you though, but for your first deal to close, I don't give it was $500, right? Just the excitement of having done it. Like, you know, because for Chris to say, oh, you know, you do this, it can happen for you. It's enough for me to say, you know, it's one thing for me to say, one thing for Chris to say, but for you to actually experience that and you know that this stuff works, like it really can happen for you. There's no greater feeling, man, than that first deal when that first deal closes. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right. No greater feeling.
you know, there were challenges. You know, there were challenges along the way. Like I said, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't an easy in and out situation. It had title issues. And then, you know, this last minute thing where, you know, there were 2 outstanding utility bills that needed to be paid. And she took us to school on this deal. She was like, I'm not paying it. You want it? And I want to walk with 11 grand. That's what she wanted. She wanted to walk with 11. And this happened to be in the Temple University area. We had the thing under for 11 grand, man. Wow. 11,000. I don't know if you guys and where you're at, but I mean, there was a time that I was getting properties under contract for like $2,500. Seriously. But anyway, I'm getting ahead.
Is that a war zone up there?
Yeah. No, it wasn't a war zone. It just was like, yeah, based on what things were at the time that I'm telling you about, where it was like it seemed like every time I turn around, I was, able to put something under contract for $2,500. It's because this particular area that I'm telling you about, the 2,500, it was like West Philly. And so I didn't even need to check comps anymore. I knew, listen, 10 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand, that's what I'm going to offer. I know that if I price it, if it's under contract for that, and I put it out for 15, this is what I make. Boom. I didn't even have to check the comps. That has now changed. But yeah, and the 2,500 was because a lot of times because it needed a full rehab and they had outstanding water and gas or taxes on the property. So,
I see what you're saying.
and these particular properties that I'm talking to you guys about, they all happen to have one thing in common. They were vacant. I love vacant properties. They're easy to show. Why? All I gotta do is stick a lockbox on there and the buyer can go. I don't have to be there, all that type of. I don't have to be stressed out about getting people in and out, and
Yep.
that's so. So
That
you
is
want to target. You want to have very highly targeted leads, right? So vacant properties is one of them. Inherited
okay.
properties, leads. I used to say absentee owners. Was it but absentee owners that had vacant properties, because you gotta have an absentee owner, because all that is an investor. It's not an owner occupied property, right? That investor doesn't live in that property. They have someone else living in that property, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you want highly targeted leads, right?
Let's stay there then. So the leads you're
And
looking for, Philly, let's stay into your marketing.
going
Let's stay there
after.
for a while. You want to go? Are we targeting this? Tell me a little bit about your marketing. How is it set up, and a little bit about if you want to tell our viewers about how it's set up, and maybe pour into somebody's life on that.
Right. Right. So like I said, you want to have highly targeted leads. And like I said, you want to but you need to know where you need to target, what areas to target, and you need to determine where there's a lot of investor buyer activity going on. And then how you determine where you should be marketing for motivated sellers. Because why? You want to know that if I get a deal in this, I I know it's going to sell as long as it's priced right. It has to be priced right. So, I was very big on handwritten letters, because in the beginning, that's what I was doing, the handwriting.
Me too.
Okay, because that was just my reality at that time. I, hand wrote every letter that went out. And, as the longer I was in this business, I didn't have to do that anymore. So I was able to outsource. And I'm telling you, that was like one of the best things that I could have ever stumbled upon as a business owner, was to outsource. The benefit and the value of outsourcing.
Break that down a little bit, Philly, for our viewers that don't have a clue what the hell outsourcing is.
Yeah, so essentially you're actually paying for convenience. So outsourcing your marketing. So somebody, who's a list provider, right? They have all that. You pay them, they send you, the list of leads for the type of leads that you requested. Then, somebody's gotta put that marketing together for you. So, you want to outsource that to a company that's what they do. They either postcards or yellow letters, or I don't know, if you could be doing billboards, whatever. So essentially you're paying for someone else to handle all of that stuff for you, so that you're not doing it. Because I had made a post probably about a week ago. I was real big on calling myself self-employed, and a friend of mine had to point out to me, like, That's ridiculous.
Why?
You know, you have to remember, for all of us, right? I'm sure everybody on this Google Hangouts has been employed at least once in their life, right? So at
Hmm.
least once. So
Yeah.
you have the employee's mindset. So then you go from being to now I'm running my own show, right? But I'm still very much involved in running my own show.
Hmm.
I'm the marketing. I'm taking the calls, right? When the phone starts ringing, I'm the one that's on the other end of that phone when a motivated seller is calling,
Gotcha.
right? You want to, once you are financially in a position to outsource that stuff, you want to do that as quickly as possible
Mm.
because right, exactly, you're a business owner. You're not self-employed, and
I like that.
it's a mindset shift because when I was self-employed, I was wearing. I remember seeing these pictures. Person had like all these hats on their head, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm the marketing. I'm the internet marketer of my real estate wholesaling business. You know,
Negotiator, property viewer,
my website. You know, I'm doing
inspector.
this. Right. So it's like, you take one hat off, you got to put another hat on. And
Mm.
that's exhausting, tiring. And because you're really in your business and you really shouldn't be in your business. I'm sure maybe folks have heard that, but until you experience what I'm talking about, then you understand why you don't want to be in your business. You want to
Yes.
be working on your business. And a
Oh
friend of
Lord.
mine, valuable folks. A friend of mine told me, you want to make more money, hire more people. And of course, that sounds counterintuitive, right? How am
Mm.
I going to make money if I'm spending money well, when you do it, the aha moment, you'll have the aha moment.
I like that, Philly. That is a
Getting
wow.
more done. You're getting more done
Make
with
more money.
through the efforts of other people.
I'm thinking about myself, about the staff that I have. Is like, you add one more, to add one more. It's truly that is
Right,
so true, man. Make more
right,
money, hire
right.
more
And so
people.
I'm sure it's a beautiful thing. Like Chris, I'm sure has been on vacation with his family. And like, yo, that, he's receiving his assistant is emailing over and stuff, right? Or
Wow.
there was a closing while he was on vacation. Did Chris have to
Oh
physically
yeah,
be there? No, right?
yeah,
And
we
guess
did
what?
both.
Even from the investor standpoint, he can just like close remotely. He doesn't physically have to be at the settlement table
Hmm.
to get this investment property. He can close. They'll send him the docs, right, for him to sign, right, and then he sends them back. He wires the money, and he continues about his life, in the pool with the girls, building
Just whatever, man.
sandcastles,
Wow.
right, at Disney World,
Wow.
all that type of stuff. And that's when you're really running a business. You know, you're not change. Like somebody said, when you have that mindset of being self-employed, you really just own a job
Hmm.
because you're tired. It's no different than when you worked a job, right? Um, because you're chained to this thing. This business can't function without you. So you think, right? Because you're in your business.
Yeah, we
So
think
you
we
want
do
to
it better.
right, you want to pull yourself out of your business as much as possible and outsource that stuff. And there's, resources and things like that to do that for really not a whole lot of money. But
Gotcha.
so anyway, I don't know if
I
I
got
got off track there or not,
No, you
but
didn't. Real quick, I gotta cut you. We gotta when somebody wants to give us a love offering, I have to cut right to the questions
okay.
on the super chat class. I'll get right to your question if you want to do it. Beezer, hey, if the property has a fire damage, owner is trying to sell, can you bargain them down to even the average value minus repair costs, or is that illegal?
Uh, can you reread that again, Chris?
If the property's fired has a fire damage and the owner is trying to
Right,
sell, Beezer, I'm trying to get this.
right.
Can you bargain them down to even the average value, the average wholesale deal?
I'm not sure what. with
Yeah, Beezer. Darn, I'm not
they're asking.
understanding it. Value minus repair. I guess she wants to know, is it illegal to bargain them down on a wholesale deal if the fires and if the house has fire damage, Philly.
No, I mean that's an ideal situation because it's a fire damaged property. So therefore,
So they've already
by
got
virtue,
claimed out. They already got claimed out on the
yeah,
policy.
exactly. So they know that this is a piece of crap in its current state right now.
Gotcha.
So saying, and then there's also, I don't want to. But there's money to be able to pull out a fire insurance that you have too,
Hmm.
uh, in that policy. But anyway, but yeah, that would be an ideal situation to put under contract
Yeah.
because it needs to work because it's fire damaged,
Hmm.
right?
There's a ton
So
of
it's prime for uh getting it at a
discount.
discount,
Discount. Yes. Oh, she said she's got a
right?
thumbs
So,
up. All right, we almost been
right.
in here for 50 minutes, Philip. Let me get you on here. I got to make sure we give maximum value. What are you going to recommend for our people that are just getting started, Philly? Please drop it on them. Just from you, I need you to take your brain out and like a hard drive and put it in theirs, Philly. Give it to them.
In terms of what specifically, or just in general, or what?
Oh, I know. Okay. I need you to get regarding wholesaling because I do
Mm,
wholesale, but I'm not an advocate. I'm not right now at this stage
right,
in my life.
right,
I think it's great to wholesale. I still do, but it's
right,
not like my
right,
main thing. So I
right,
guess if
right. That's
somebody that wants
right,
to,
right.
what would you?
So, one, you need to, whatever market you're in, you need to know where there's a lot of investor buyer activity, right? That will then determine where you should target your marketing. Because you don't want to target your marketing in areas where there's not a whole lot of investor buyer activity going on. It's like a complete waste of time and your money. So you want to market in those areas. I don't know, but there's groups. I don't want to throw any names out there without having discussed it with Chris first. But there are Facebook groups on Facebook that hey, I live in this market. Where are investors buying in this market,
Hmm.
right? So, so now where folks are buying. Now, then you want to kind of like drill it down a little bit. You have your buy and hold investors, which are folks who buy property to hold. They're called landlords. They put tenants in them. There's passive income, and then you have your fix and flip guys and girls, right? So you need to, is this an area that's high, um, um, uh, buy and hold? Or is this, where there's home ownership has been stable and this is an area where, folks are flipping properties.
So
So,
location is best for you, paramount for you.
right. And so, knowing that, then, like I said, you want to, and of course, you're going to pay a little bit more because they're, for highly targeted leads, but those highly targeted leads, some of what I mentioned, like vacant properties, inherited properties, probates. Why target these folks? Because in most cases, they're going to be super motivated to sell, right? So, why? And I mean, just think, you inherit a property, it may need a ton of work. Well, guess what? I don't want to, I don't have the money, no inclination to want to renovate this property myself. So guess what? I want to sell it. I didn't ask for it. I want to get rid of it. You help me, right? It's the same
Gotcha.
thing. Um, inherited property. It's a will in place. Probate. They have to go through the probate process, and be appointed. Someone has to be appointed the administrator of the estate, and then to then be able to legally sell the property.
Gotcha.
So it's the same thing with probates as it is with inherited property. Okay, vacant properties that need tons and tons of work, just sitting there. It's not getting it. Might as well get money for it as opposed to paying taxes on something that that's not generating you any income. It's become more of a it's become a liability, not an asset.
Mm-hmm.
So, and claim deeds. I don't know if folks are familiar with that, dollar deed type things, that typically happen. It's a
Dollar
arm's
deed.
length transaction, right? From bank to you or family member to family member.
Gotcha.
It's the same thing. They've come into this property. They didn't really have anything financially invested in this property. So they may not be looking for a whole lot. They just want to get rid of the property. So make sure your leads are the folks that your sellers that you're targeting are, fall into one of those categories, right? Of
Nice.
highly targeted leads.
All right,
And
let's get
why
this.
do we, because they're in so that's why.
What was that last piece
So,
where you
okay.
broke up? What's that last thing you said?
I said why target those those particular types of sellers is because in most cases they're going to be super motivated to sell. That's why
Okay,
you want to target the ones that I just mentioned. And then
gotcha.
as quickly as you possibly can, you want to begin to outsource as much of your business as you possibly can. So, in the beginning, I think it's a good thing to have to,
Get a taste
wear
for it.
those many hats, right, because you have an understanding of what, needs to be, what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, right? Before handing that off to somebody else. So,
Gotta taste it. You gotta
know your
taste it. You know what the hell it tastes like.
right,
That's good.
exactly. Know your numbers, and after a while, you'll begin to develop a gut feeling. Like I can, I eyeball a property and say, oh, this is just by looking at it. This is what I'm willing to offer on it without
Yeah.
having looked at the comps.
Well,
But
that's
that
because
comes from
you.
oh, come on, man.
I
But
mean,
that
that's because you've
just comes
been.
from
Yeah.
comes from experience. It comes from experience. You develop, this gut feeling of what you should be offering a property. I mean, I would
Gotcha.
still recommend comps, but that's just confirmation of what your gut feeling is, right? The comps. Oh, that's why. Right, exactly. This is what we're going to offer on the property, and
All
make
right.
sure you have your, make sure that you develop a reputation of somebody that listen. They know what they're doing. Um, and you want to be very detailed with your investor buyers. You don't want to leave anything information out. You want to give them as much pop information as they possibly can, just because that's what you should do. And you don't want to leave. You don't want them to have to keep coming back and asking you questions. And be a professional. It's a business, so therefore you should be a professional in the way
Nice.
that you go about doing things.
Nice.
So,
Okay. Let's get to some
developer
Q and
that
A. Hmm?
some freaking she always has good deals or he always has good deals. I know that when I reach out to this particular person, I can, whatever they have, I know that I'm going to want to buy. You want to be that person in your
Yeah.
market.
You get a rep real
So
quick for being a guy with zero equity on meat on his deals.
say what? Yeah,
I said
exactly.
you get a rep. I can't stand it. Every time I see the guy, I'm like, I know
I
you got
know,
no fucking
right?
equity. Don't even talk to me. You got no. You're not giving. No.
Right. Exactly. Because why? Because they have developed a reputation. Because this is my thing. Anything will sell, right? Given enough time.
Yeah.
But you need to always be asking yourself, when you're determining what to offer for you want to always ask yourself, how quickly can this sell at this price?
How quickly can
And
this
if you
sell
have
at
to
this
think
price?
about it,
How
right.
quickly can this sell at
So
this
if
price?
you have to think it will sell, then that really isn't the number you need to be offering.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? You should be able to like, boom. Okay, at this price, I know it'll sell in a day. I know it'll sell, and again, that all comes from experience.
It's over. It's
There
over.
are things at play. You'll learn that as you go along. So some things that there's some things that Chris can't, just teach you. There's something you have to learn through experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I hear a
fully
lot.
understand what Chris is trying to do from the beginning, to begin with. So when you begin to have your experiences, like that's what Chris meant.
It happens.
Why I shouldn't do this in this type of scenario. So
Well, I hear a lot of times people are saying, "I made 8
so
offers this week.
hope
I didn't get a deal. I made 8 offers. I didn't get a deal." Philly, what can you advise to give the people that say that?
you got to keep plugging away, man. There's going to be tons of people that say no, they're not interested in selling. Okay, on to the next one.
How many offers do
Everybody's
you
not.
make? Tell them, Philly, how many offers? I mean, I know it's got to be numbers. It's got to be crazy, but I know for me. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just making a lot of offers, and then you have to not emotionally get attached to what that answer is going to be. You follow what I'm saying? It's a number game. It's a numbers game, and you can't take it personal. You know
Good.
what I'm saying? You
I
can't,
like that.
and you got to know how to walk away. You got to have walk away power.
What would you say about he who
Walk-
loves the deal the most loses? What would you say if I said that statement? He who loves the deal the most loses.
Yeah, because you're emotionally attached to it. So you know what I'm saying? Because you have blinders on, right? You can't see it for whatever reason. Asking me to pay this much money for it, you got to be crazy,
Well,
right? So you follow what I'm saying?
gotcha.
I don't know if that answers your question, but yes,
Yeah, I wanted to hear your take on it. Yeah.
the way I interpret that is that you're whatever reason, and you can't be emotionally attached to a deal.
Yeah.
You just can't.
It doesn't work
Attachments
like that.
don't
Don't
make you
make money.
money.
All right,
Attachments don't make
let me get you out of here.
you
We've been here
money. Okay.
for an hour. 2 more things that I want to ask. Then we're gonna go some Q&A. Is that okay, Philly?
Sure, no problem.
You got your realtor's license, and I want to talk to you about double closings. Real quick, give me a brief bird's eye view of why you got your realtor's license, not realtor,
Well,
realtor's
the
license.
reason, yeah, the reason actually is the second time I got licensed. The first time I was licensed in 2007, and that was strictly so I could get access to the MLS. And I wound
Okay.
up getting access to the MLS through a real estate assistance access. I didn't even need my darn real estate license.
Nope.
So you can do that, right? Somebody that's licensed, ask them, could we work together? And I have, is it possible for me to get a real estate assistance license? I mean, access so that you can pull comps. And the reason why I got licensed this second time is because I got tired of leaving money on the table.
What
So
you
for
mean?
those instances, so I'm going to explain. So for those instances where, let's just say, for example, I offered somebody 30,000 for their property and they wanted 50, but I knew at 50, I would have to, uh, I couldn't really do much with it. It wasn't really going to be a whole lot of meat on the bone,
Mm-hmm.
but still, I could still get it sold by listing it on the MLS, and I could kind of do it kind of quickly. Follow what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So when folks were not, um, who weren't willing to get on board with my offer, I could then this is now my alternative. I can
Gotcha.
offer to list it for them as long as it makes sense to
That's
list it
sharp,
at the
Philly.
price that they're asking for.
That's sharp, man.
So that's the
Okay.
reason.
Gotcha. All right, class. You hear that? If you can't buy it, then you just list it and you make it your commission. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, so we got that double closing, Philly. How are you handling that? I got my Airbnb housekeeper on the way over here, so I might have to cut out and drop off some stuff.
Okay.
How are you
I'm not.
handling
I don't do double closings. I don't do double closings.
ever?
I've never had to do them. Ever. Not one. And I've been doing this, it'll be 9 years October. I've never done a double close. I mean, there are situations that it makes sense to do that, but I've never been in those situations where it's more prudent for me to do a double closing than it was for me to, because I'm like, essentially, when you got super motivated sellers, they don't give a crap about who's this person that's signing the documents. They know they're getting a check. I have never one time. I lied to you not one time, and I had a situation where I thought this one woman was going to be, that she was going to, it was going to be problems at the settlement table.
Hmm.
And it wasn't even a problem. She was so darn happy because she was a not very nice person throughout the process.
Why
I
did
had to
you
catch
think?
myself.
Why did you think you may have a problem? What made you think you may have a problem?
Like, every little thing was just she was a pain. But she at that settlement, man, she had a big fat smile on her face, her and her husband. She didn't care those documents to, now become the owner of record. She didn't care. They not one time have I ever had anyone say, well, who was this?
Nice. All right, class.
Do you care? So I've never had to do it.
Okay,
And,
class. Well, I'm just saying, I want
um,
I want to come from you. Full time wholesaling, doing this stuff. People are just, everybody has this worst case fear. They just think that the world is going to end. When somebody knows who you're not the end
right,
buyer.
right,
I have
right.
yet to have someone say,
And there's
"Huh."
right. And there's a way to handle that. There's a way to say, look, we're an acquisitions company, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing is acquiring properties to
Hmm.
sell, properties for investors to buy. So you handle all the acquisitions for your investor buyers. So that's all you got to say. Do they care? No.
They're getting their money.
All
I've
right,
had so
exactly.
many clients just call me up, man. I've had to think of so many things to say. It's just ludicrous. I'm not even gonna get into them.
Right.
For,
And you want
for
to be, listen, I want to end on this note. Like, I'm very big on integrity.
Yep.
Integrity is essential. And, this is my thing. Sometimes I may not volunteer something just because too much information, it just, you understand, it complicates things.
Hmm.
To the best of my ability, I try to be as honest as possible
Gotcha.
when dealing with folks. That's what
Good.
I do, so. And on that note, I know you got to go, Chris. So,
No, no, no. I got a
but it's
Q&A. I want to get some Q&As before I get out of here. No, she's coming here. She's
all
coming
right.
here. You got time just for
All
some
right.
Q&A?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. All right.
I
Class, if you, huh?
do this. No, I made time to do this. So yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Class, if you're just joining us, we are hanging out with Philly, aka I'm sorry, Iman, aka the Philly wholesaler chick.
Right.
I've been calling you
Right.
Philly forever. And we're gonna do some
I
quick
know, right?
Q&A. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm just so blessed to be able to chime into your world. Plug in.
Thank you for having me.
Daniel, I'm gonna hopefully as we can get some questions. I gotta just drop there. She's gonna pull up. I'm gonna drop off just to let you know we do Airbnb and it's been so back to back to back to back, Philly.
That's
We don't even
great.
have enough linens.
We have to
I'm
talk
like,
about that.
we bought 6 pair
Let's
of
talk about
linens and
that,
the
man.
shit is just I can't even I had to hire a cleaning person. Now I had to
Right.
wash the clothes today because they didn't get washed yesterday, and now the dude booked from today to Wednesday, Thursday. So anyway, it's
Right.
booming. It's booming.
Right.
Um, Daniel wants to know. Thank you. Hey Daniel, he wants to know. Can he get an idea of the best way he can find cash buyers? Philly.
Um. Well, I mean, you can always. This is what I mean. So I had my uh nice corrugated signs for that were targeted towards motivated sellers. And for buyers, I would use cardboard signs. If you look desperate when you use a cardboard sign, okay.
That's
So
true.
that's what I did, right? And you can always, the a quick fast way, you can purchase a list of cash buyers, right?
What when you
There's
say what type of sign are you using? Cash, cheap house cash. What type of sign are you using for your cash buyers,
yeah.
Philly?
So yeah, cheap house for sale. Bop, bop,
Yeah,
bop. And I would
yeah.
use a you can go to any darn like a shopping mall or plaza or whatever and see those empty boxes and just use those.
Wow,
Um,
nice.
right. So that's what I did early on. And then I began now there used to be a site, I'm trying to remember. If I can't I don't think I'm gonna remember while we're on this, but I'll send it over to Chris. there's a free site where you were able to pull comps and you could see who the person was that bought that property, the investor that bought the property. So
Well,
what I also did, huh?
RealQuest. I mean, you can get them on RealQuest. I don't know if it's another one.
Yeah, that too. But I'm saying this was free, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, okay.
You
Real Estate ABC? Nah, they
understand?
don't give you the name though. They're not gonna give you the name.
Now, but I'll send it over to you.
Okay.
But what I also did was yeah, because I had access because at that time I had RealQuest. That's how I was pulling comps. At the time I was paying $100 a month because it served two purposes. Leads, I could buy seller leads and I could buy cash buyer leads. So I would mail letters to people that bought within a quarter mile of that property. Just like, when I'm pulling comps, I targeted folks who bought in and around that property that I'm looking to sell
Mm-hmm.
and send them a letter. Matter of fact, that's how the first deal I got sold, he got the letter. The
Nice.
Temple University.
Mm-hmm.
Did we put up bandit signs? Yes, but he got the letter and he made the phone call.
Nice.
And he wanted to, because we were doing a one-time showing, he wanted to come a day early. He said, I got my checkbook.
Oh,
Got your stuff, man. Seriously. So, so yeah, you can do that. There are list providers that can provide that information for you.
gotcha. All right.
Um, and the slow way is just find out who's buying what and where, and reach out to them when you have a deal.
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
all depends on what your you know resources are, but
Yeah, Daniel.
yeah,
For me, I'm going to the courthouse steps. I love the cash for houses signs, cheap. I just pull up. I just go to the MLS and pull up a list of cash buyers.
right,
That has been. I mean, seemed like it's. In my opinion, it's been
right,
easier over time, Philly, to find cash buyers as it was years ago. It's like you can kind of, you could say, look, he
right,
bought 123 Easy Street. I
yeah,
could see the damn date when he bought it and the name and
right,
almost the phone number sometimes.
yeah.
On the MLS.
So yeah, so or you like right, Chris, just what he said. Like you can call those bandit signs, and most times they're wholesalers, so they're
Hmm.
not actually on the other end. But there may be, you never know. It may, investor buyer may have hired somebody to put those things out there.
No, I'm talking about the cash for
So
home, the cheap house, those cheap house cash. Those shits were great for me. Put them at the Home Depot or the Lowe's. I
right,
mean, your phone ring off the
right,
hook all day.
yeah. Other benefit too, Chris, for your viewers. When you're starting out, you may not obviously don't have any cash buyers. Sometimes you may go wholesale with somebody. They have the
Mhm.
buyers, you do it, customarily it's 50-50. There's nothing written in stone, but customarily, if you have the deal, they bring the buyer, it's a 50-50 split.
Yeah,
Now that's what's customarily done. But you know,
that's
the
nice.
case. But I'm saying when
Oh,
you're new and you got a deal, yo, reach out. Hey, Iman. Hey, Chris, I have this deal. Do you have any buyers that would be interested in this property?
co-wholesaling.
So
Yes, yes.
follow me. You have to maybe rely on the help assistance of other people.
Good
So
gracious. Real quick, Daniel wants to know how much money should he possibly set aside for marketing, Philly? What do you recommend for that?
I say to anybody, you want to whatever that number, what you can comfortably do every month, right? But you want to make sure that it's something got to be consistent. You can't market one time, throw something at the wall, hope something sticks, and then that's it. No, you got to consistently market. So you want to consistently market at a number that you meant to doing every month. So it is for you, Dan, maybe what it is for Chris. It may not be the same number for me. So it all depends on what you do every month, what you can comfortably do, but you want to, and it has to be something you can comfortably do consistently. I say this to anybody. You got to take, a lot of people say, oh, action. No, that's not right. You have to take consistent. I mean, you get massive action, you can do one time. Do consistent You want to take. So, okay, therein lies the difference. You don't want to just take massive action. You do one time. So you want to do consistent massive action. So Daniel, you figure out after your expenses which you can comfortably do every month, but make sure, which you can comfortably do, and make sure it's something you do it. Make sure you're doing it every month, Daniel.
Either you're, in my opinion, either you're a consistent or non-existent, Philly. What would you say about that? This might be a tenant buyer right here, Philly. You want to hear another tenant buyer call?
Your phone ring like Chris, okay? His phone's ringing like 3 times. Get on this. So,
hello, may I help you?
That's what you want.
Yes. I think it's Audrey Moore. Is this Chris?
This is Chris. Yeah. Are you calling about a house?
Yes.
Real quick, I gotta let you know this is being recorded for training purposes. Okay.
Okay. Kenji had referred me to you.
Oh, Kenji, yes.
To talk to you.
That's right. You need a place.
Coming or relocating to Norfolk.
That's right. Let me do this. Let me do this. What's your name?
My name is Audrey Moore.
Audrey. All right. I'm in the middle of another meeting. Is this your cell phone number here?
Yes, that's my cell phone.
All right. Let me get done with this meeting. I'll call you right back.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, Phil. I thought there would be some good action. There wasn't though.
No problem. Yo, one time when one of my visits to North Carolina again, man, I have to set aside a day, man. No, I'm serious. To swing through the Hampton Roads area.
Yeah,
seriously,
that'd be great, man. Yeah, I'll put you up. As long as you gotta get here, we'll put you up. I got an Airbnb. You can just stay right in the crib.
I know, right? Exactly. I mean that. I'm not just saying. I really would love to do that, Chris.
Yeah,
so
it's free.
Like maybe I'll add a day to my trip and then just swing through there, spend the night, and then head. So
yeah, that'd be nice, Billy. Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that now.
I mean it. I'm not just saying it.
I know, Mr. Transaction. What up, dog?
Anyways.
That's right. That's right. Hilda, in your experience, Philly. In your experience, Philly, do you prefer selling properties as a licensed realtor or as a wholesaler?
Wholesaler, and I'll tell you why. I actually haven't done a deal as a licensed real estate agent. So, but I'm just saying, I haven't had to do it. So, and the reason why I would prefer, like, if you as on the residential side, right? As a real estate agent, unless you're selling high-end luxury homes, you're really not making a whole lot of money. You got to do a lot of volume, right? To make, because you figure that, what was that, Chris?
Keep going. Keep going.
So, you figure you're getting 3%, and that 3% has to be your broker gets 1.5% of that, of whatever the sale price was, right? So as a wholesaler, I determine how much I make. You understand what I'm saying? I'm the one that determines how much I make. There's no one who determines that for me. But so as a real estate agent, somebody is determining that for you. And like I said, unless you're doing high-end luxury residential homes, you're not really making a whole lot off the deal. So that's my answer to that question.
So yeah, I'm saying, well, some people are like, well, I can't wholesale because I'm a realtor.
That's like, well, why is that? Why can't you?
That's what I'm saying. People are asking because it's a conflict of interest or whatever. I'm just saying you're doing it.
Because this is my business. This has nothing to do with the real estate brokerage where I hang my license. Follow me? Mm-hmm. So
nice.
But by law, I have to. If you have to disclose that you are a licensed real estate agent. And so the way to handle that, the way I would handle that is that I have to let you know that I have to disclose that I'm a licensed real estate agent. However, I'm not here to function in that capacity. So, and then you move on. Move on. That's what I say.
You just put it on there and move on.
So,
You don't dwell on it, right? I'm presuming you don't dwell on it.
right. I'm licensed. You know, I'm a licensed real estate agent, but I'm not here functioning in that capacity. So, you know, there's a lot of real estate agents that are investors. They are investment salesmen. So,
All right. So you're doing. You'd rather do wholesaling than being a. I would.
yeah. Like I was never looking to be a traditional real estate agent anyway. When I, by getting licensed, it was never about that for me. I didn't want to be with one of those big name brokerages where they expect you to produce because that's not what I'm looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
I pay a $6.95 flat fee to my brokerage
For the
on
year.
any transaction. So,
Hey Eddie, just picked up.
sir,
Yeah, we got to keep you boy. Yeah, tomorrow, Angela, I'm going to do a trust class tomorrow, either 2 or 3, but you'll get a notification. Wow. Went to the property today. She needs to know the seller is the executor. Can she sell us the house, or does she need the others to agree before she sells to her?
now when you're the executrix or executor, you don't. You need to when there's no will in place and the property needs to be probated, and then it comes down to them, you someone being appointed the administrator of the estate. The other folks have to renounce their right. But when you're the executor, it's a will in place. So that makes things easier for that person looking to liquidate that property. You follow me? So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, in my experience, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It all depends on whatever the paperwork says. I mean, you never know.
Mm.
REI Necessities wants to know, Philly, how do your numbers have to look? Oh, REI Necessities, thank you for your love offering, my friend. Thank you, thank you. We're here to serve. We are here to serve. Class, put your questions in. REI Necessities wants to know, how do your numbers have to look when you are wholesaling to a buy and hold in buyer? And some advice for us who are having trouble being consistent. Philly, that's a big difference.
Well,
Buyer, big difference on the buyer there.
exactly. So, buy and hold folks typically are not looking for ARV.
Nope.
Right? They're looking for what kind of rent they can get. So we have a situation now on the tables that we're putting under contract. It's a property in an up and coming area. It's tenant occupied. They're currently paying $850 a month in rent plus utilities, which is always good from an investor standpoint. You're not the one paying the utilities. The utilities the tenant pays,
Hmm.
and it's a lease. So, um, so anyway, I was going to say something, but
Go ahead.
so yeah,
We're talking about cash
you're looking
flow.
for
Shit.
different things.
They're looking for cash
So
flow.
the funny thing is, because I just don't know who's going to see this. Why, if I should
Oh,
say what I would say,
okay.
but like
Whatever you.
this up and coming area, I right after the lead came in Friday night, I received an email from an investor friend of mine who's was from his assistant sent it out, right? And the same up and coming area. It's a property that needs a full rehab, and they're asking 73.9 for the property, right? So our seller, who has this, um, is asking not anywhere near what they're asking for something that needs a full rehab, and they're asking 73.9. So without me even having to look at the comps, based on what this seller is asking, I know it's a good deal. So,
Gotcha.
but like I said, you're not looking, typically some of them do. Don't ask me why. But for the most part, fix and flip guys, girls, aren't looking for the same thing. I mean, a buy and hold investor is not looking for the same thing that a fix and flip person is looking
No way. They could
for,
pay
right?
a lot more too. Cause shit, I know I can only
Right.
pay. I
So
don't
they're
only
looking
pay.
for rental
Hmm.
comps, in a buy and hold situation.
Yep.
So, okay, that therein lies the difference.
Yep. Lajal, hey brother, good day. What language did you put? Everybody wants to know about how you got out of that first deal. I got three people asking the same question, so I'm gonna knock this one
You
out
know
with
what?
one.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
That was
I
the
don't even
first
remember.
one.
I don't remember. But there is I will send it to Chris. And I need to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not an attorney, none of that stuff. But there's a form that we use, a release of obligation, right? For the seller and a release of obligation for us to buy. So the language that's in our, again, this is my agreement. I'm not telling anybody what to put, what kind of language to put in their agreement. But, our decision to move forward is contingent. There's a contingency in there. It's contingent upon our partner's approval,
What? Yeah,
right? And so that's what I use. I'm not telling
contingencies.
you to use that, okay?
I am
So, but so from a legal standpoint, I'm not telling anybody to do that, but that's what has worked for me.
contingencies,
So,
Lajal.
right. But you don't want, and it goes back to what I said earlier. You want to make sure your numbers are right so you don't have to go back to a seller and ask for a price reduction. You follow me?
But sometimes it happens. Shit,
Have
it happens.
Yes, I can't. It's been a long time since I've had to do it, and that was early on when I had to do it. You know, more often than I wanted to. Wasn't a lot, but it was more than I wanted to.
But you
So
got through it though.
that's why I say you. So okay.
Okay, Lajal wants to also know, does your contract include that the seller must give you a warranty deed? Or is that something that your title company always does?
Each state, right? Yeah, exactly, it does. But it depends on the state you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, Beverly over the
I want to line up. I mean, but go ahead.
nothing. Free soul man. Yes, if you need contracts, just email me. Chris buys houses. Thanks, Daniel. Whatever. If you need contracts subject to docs, affiliate, yeah, I give you that stuff too. Just send me an email for docs. You want to download it first. Daniel wants to know, are you using VAs to send to possibly, are you using VAs to contact your list source sellers? Do your list source leads, Philly?
I don't use list source, and
Okay.
I personally, but I'm not knocking list source, but you got it. I did a whole video on this. Like, you got to know how to set your parameters in there to really get yourself good leads using, because list source is the sister company to RealQuest. So I did a video on that like a few years ago, how to do that, because I had never used it and I didn't want to, I wanted to know how it worked so I could then show folks that were members of a group that we had how to pull the data on list source, and so that you can get results from from that, because there were folks that were complaining about that they were junk, but they didn't know how to set the parameters to be able to pull good data to mail to.
Gotcha.
You
Oh man, I hope here's a housekeeper. Hopefully, we're gonna pray that the dogs don't go ballistic. I put the linen on the front porch so she can just take it to the place.
Right.
Keep your fingers crossed. Oh Lord. All right, let's see what else we got. Please, y'all chill. So these. Let me see.
I said, the guy had isn't a beat,
Man, we got a million questions. You are on fire, Philly.
Well, that's a good thing.
Where'd she go?
Good thing.
Tamara. No, did you get the sheets? I put them right on the front chair. I'm on a video, so I didn't want the dogs to go crazy. Okay. All right. And the door is open over there, and the closet is ready for you to go. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's hope this works. Oh, not using. I'm gonna look at that video. Not losing list tours. I know some people using Melissa data. So many of them. RW, is my insurance, my deal insurance, the same as the memorandum agreement? Yes, same thing. Are you using a memorandum sometimes, Philly, on your end, so the buyer doesn't back out?
I've never had to do any of that stuff.
Wow, you are blessed.
Well, I had once probably when was this? A few months ago, but we hadn't signed the agreement yet. So it doesn't count. But I've never had anybody in 9 years back out of a deal after
Oh,
signing.
Lord. Wow, you people have
No,
integrity out
seriously,
there in Philly.
I've never had that happen. Well, no, yes, I did. I did. A year ago, we had a situation, but we still got the deal done. But yeah, so that was actually the one and only time that after the assignment contract had been signed that happened.
Unbelievable, Philly. Wow,
Time in almost 9 years. That's the only time I've ever had it happen after the assignment contract was signed.
that's amazing. I'm like, I had 9 in 1 year. I'm like backwards in
Really?
yours. My people
Right.
backing out of stuff all the time around here. All
So
right,
I mean,
Angela.
it's just
Hmm?
unfortunate. I've just been fortunate to
You
not have
have.
to
You have.
happen. Right.
How much time did you spend at the courthouse researching your cases
I
and
don't.
leads, Philly?
I
You
don't.
don't. You don't go. Okay.
It's called outsourcing.
Wow.
Okay. Somebody else,
You want
somebody else did the work, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like in the beginning, I think it's a great
to?
thing to do. Um, I'm sorry, what was the name again?
That is how much time? That's Angela Ford.
Angela. So I think in the beginning, it's great to do because you develop an understanding of that whole process. But at some point, you really want to take yourself out of doing that and outsource it to somebody. Either pay for probate leads or hire somebody or an intern or somebody to do that for you.
Nice. Nice.
Um, but you don't want to continue to do that,
Nope. You
you
know
know?
what's weird? If the more, as soon as you take yourself, I love that statement you had. To make more money, hire more people. As soon as you take it, it's
Right,
amazing how you take yourself out of it,
right,
and you're like, damn, why not do this shit
right
years
before,
ago?
right? Exactly. Absolutely.
Body Crush
You
Bad
know?
Company. Thank you. Oh, man, they scared of making a costly mistake. Shit. You'll be all
Now,
right.
well, listen, costly, but it's tuition. Paying tuition.
With wholesale in Philly, how much cost it? It ain't like you're like me spending hundreds of thousands of dollars renovating houses. I mean, what you got to lose, really? I mean, really. I want to Body Crush Bath Company.
I
I'm
don't know.
so
I
sincere
don't know.
about
But that's
this.
where coaching comes in. That's why you got Chris.
Yeah.
Avoid the landmines, right?
Angela wants to know, is there a site for pre-foreclosure for leads? I know how to go. Or what would you recommend
I
she
mean,
do?
there's tons of them now. How reputable they are is another question. I personally don't do pre foreclosure stuff, so um, I have somebody for lists. I would assume they provide those types of leads, but I personally haven't. I did that like years ago when I started in short sales back in like '04. Did I close a deal? No, I didn't. This is when I had a job too. I was
Wow.
making great money. Right? Had the financial resources and never closed a deal. But um yeah, so but they're out there. You want make sure that who you're using is reputable. And I would ask around if, say, for example, you stumble across some website or whatever to see if other folks have used it and what their results were. So, for example, like for skip tracing, I have an account with TLO, and
TLO.
they but retarded now because they want to start they've now increased the monthly fee to $50 because it used to be pay by search, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was $1 search. You only, you did a search, it's $1. But now they're charging 50 that they've increased it to $50 a month. And then any searches you do above that is $1, right? That's insane. So I saw something that was posted in a group on Facebook about this website that you can use to skip trace. And one of my investor buyers, I had posted on my news feed about had anyone used it, and if so, what kind of results did they get? He called me up to tell me he's had amazing results.
Right.
He did like 3,000, a batch of 3,000 leads to skip trace,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very good with it. So that's what I'm saying. So, just ask around if folks have used a particular website and that you may find, and if they had good results from using it.
Gotcha.
Because somebody to invest a lot of money into marketing with a company, and you're not getting a good return on your money. So you know
Okay.
what I mean.
Do you want to share that new one, or is that something you care to share?
Yeah, it's I believe it's hold on. I believe it's batchskiptracing.com. One quick second.
Batch script tracing.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
All right, class, you're getting some nuggets, class. You're getting some nuggets. It's worth your time. Put into yourself. Put into yourself.
Because I actually had the guy call me. I had a phone appointment. Yeah, it's batchskiptracing.com.
Gotcha. Thank you for that one, Philly. That was
Phone
perfect.
phone appointment with the guy to discuss their services.
Isn't it somehow, Philly, skip tracing has gone exponentially down in the pricing? I remember back in the day it was $35 to do one. Do
Yeah,
you
well,
remember
what was
that?
that other one where they would find the seller.com? How much were they charging for one
$30 and
freaking
30. And then Intello, it was a
what?
man.
Something? I was like, yo, it better. The only way I was doing that is if it was super hot in a super hot area, and it had to be worth me paying that.
Is it something? It's something.
Yeah, exactly.
Industry's changed. I remember doing it. The dude was
But
like,
yeah, and, right. So, and there's Lexus that was expensive too. But
yep,
like like TLO now, since TransUnion has acquired them some years ago.
yeah.
Y'all know TransUnion is one of the three credit bureaus, and
Mhm.
you gotta. When I got it, I had my business entity already, and they only asked me what was I using it for, and I told them to locate sellers of vacant properties. That's what I was using, and they were good with my response. That's what I was using it for, and like I said, since TransUnion acquired them, they've gotten much stricter, with
Policy
the requirements to create an account with them. So,
regarding being
you know,
able to regarding the person receiving the text. Are
background
they
check,
stricter on
all
that?
that stuff. Huh?
They're stricter
It's
on the person receiving the text.
receiving what?
I'm sorry, they're stricter on what you're doing with the data.
Right, but they also want to do a background check. They want to do site visits. Make sure you're
Holy
using
cow!
intended use. You have to have had your business entity for at least a year. I mean, last I knew, it could have changed,
Yeah, gotcha.
but they're
Oh
a
my
lot
god.
more stringent with giving accounts, creating accounts for people.
Kimberly Gray wants to know, and I don't want to stay here too long. I love it. Can she's seen on TV that you can buy a house with no money? Can you really flip a house with no money?
Flip a house with them. Yeah, it's called private money.
Private
It's
money, yes.
called
It's called all
right
that
there.
money. Yeah,
There's tons of folks out there that want to passively earn money through real estate and will allow you to use their money at a low interest rate.
that's right. But Kimberly, you better
So
not be doing that on the
there's
first one, though. Not on the first one.
no, no. You gotta show some proof. You know what I'm saying?
So that's
But
we'll
yeah,
leave that one alone. Yeah, you
there's,
can. Yes, yes.
right. There's creative ways to get in, to
Yeah.
buy property. Trust
Angela, she's thinking about doing direct mail. She wants to know, is USPS with postcards a good way to market Philly, in your opinion?
I've never used them, so I couldn't answer your question about that.
You never used the post office to do. You
Spin-
never used the
Do you
post.
mean just, huh?
You never used the post office
I
to
mean,
deliver
I no,
postcards.
right. Folks I outsource. I didn't know if she meant was I go into USPS to create postcards through their website and then mail them out.
Oh, yeah, I've never done that
That's what
either.
I thought she
Yeah,
was
she did.
asking.
She
So
did. She
they
was.
right. So they have what is that? Every door direct where
Yeah.
I've never done that. I know someone that had good success with it. They live in the DMV area,
Hmm.
but I've never used them for to outsource the marketing piece of creating the marketing piece and then sending the marketing piece out.
Gotcha.
No.
So Russell Cross, he's in Philly. He wants to know, is he possible to get in touch with you for mentoring and consultations, Philly? Are you doing that?
Yeah, but I limit it because
They'll
at the
run you
end
to
of the
death.
day I'm just right. So if
Run
I'm
you to
doing
death.
one, I can't. I'm not looking to take on a lot of folks, but we can talk. We can talk.
If somebody wants to reach you, would you recommend to go to Facebook or call you, or what's the best way to?
Yeah, just message me on Facebook and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, Russell, I promise you, if I want to get through to her, I send her an email. I might not hear from her for a day, but
That's
Facebook is like,
that's not true, guys. Chris has my number. He can email me or text me. He knows darn well
that's right. You're
that he
right.
can
You're right.
get
You're right.
access to me.
That's true.
But you need to give them my full name, Chris, so that for those who are interested in reaching out on Facebook, when
Iman.
Yusuf Yahya. So if you want to write it up there,
Let me do that. Iman.
and
Spell it
then
for me.
it's YU. The last name is YU. S is in Sam. EF is in Frank. Dash. Want a hyphen there, Chris? Right, and then YAH. Yeah, YAHYA.
That's cool.
There you go.
All right, get it on
So there
Facebook.
I am.
All
Yeah.
right, Beezer. Uh, Any
So
questions?
hopefully they're
Hmm?
valuable for everybody on here.
I hope so too. That's what I want to do every week. Is mom been blessed. Bo Davis. Any caveats on targeting little to no equity pre foreclosures for subject twos? Any suggestions on that?
Well, you know what? You said pre-foreclosures.
Well, he said the pre foreclosures for subject twos. Bo Davis.
Little to no equity.
Shit, you can just buy. I mean, that's just the last 3 years. You go last 5 years of houses. You can target them. It's weird how people that
Right.
buy houses at full market value. Philly, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Philly.
Right. Yeah, you'd be surprised too. There's I mean, it's a completely different market. But like in you got folks that will pay retail but that's a whole another different market. So, like in New York, it's insane. I'm like, what? I have a investor friend of mine that's in that market. Retail folks that just like cash buyers, man.
Yeah. Any more questions, class? Sylvester. Dan can buy 15 30 by 20 foam boards and cut them equally. Okay, we could try that. REI Pro, somebody's saying use that for pre foreclosures. John McQuaid wants to know, why do you have a realtor's license? I don't want to go back there, Philly, if you don't mind. We gotta get up out of here. We did cover that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, I'm sorry,
I
McQuaid.
can use it as an alternative now if they are
Alternative.
not willing to discount.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
they're not willing to sell what I've offered them. So I can then offer them the alternative to list the property for them as long as it makes sense to list it at the price that they're asking for it.
There you go.
Because I was on the table. That's the reason why I got licensed.
Beezy wants to know, do you have a YouTube channel, Philly?
I do, but I haven't recorded a video in so long. What is it? That Philly wholesaler chick, I believe.
All right. And Sylvester is just putting out bandit signs today. I don't know why people hate bandit signs, Philly. I mean, I just bought 2
Well,
houses.
because it's work. That's why. It's work. And typically, you're the one doing it. Like, you're the one putting the bandit signs out.
That's true. That's true.
I'm trying to see. I
Mr.
thought I had YouTube
Transaction.
on my phone, but I don't.
You got what in the phone?
I said I thought I had a YouTube app on my phone
Oh,
to pull up my.
Mr. Transaction wants to know, on TLO, do they still give out people's social security numbers? Good Lord, they giving you everything.
Yeah,
Wow, we don't need that, do we?
but darn, yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the only reason why I wanted access to that that data was because I want, in the event that I'm trying to locate somebody in a probate situation, that I had the right person.
Mm,
So
that's a good nugget.
yeah, I'm still on there. That Philly wholesaler.
Well, you were doing a lot of Well, this is my housekeeper. 1 second.
All right.
Hey, Sarah, go ahead. Okay, the code is 1614. All right, bye. I saw your text. I'll get you straight. Either one. I mean, either one of us have to get you straight. I got you back. All right. Bye bye. Everybody want to know when they're getting paid, boy. I got you. I ain't mad at her, man. I ain't mad at her. You got her money. Philly, this has been great. We've been here 2 hours. Give me your final thoughts on.
Wow, it is. It's almost 4:00. My God, didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Bye.
since I quit. I remember you used to be heavy on this training, though, Philly. You backed off a lot.
Yeah. What with the YouTube?
I don't know if it was YouTube, but I remember seeing you doing a lot of online interactions,
Yeah.
videos, interviews.
Yeah. I haven't had the time, but yeah, my channel is That Philly Wholesaler. Is my YouTube channel. It's like 83 videos there.
I bet it's good stuff.
And yeah, I mean, I still people. I had somebody recently say that they watched them and they were helpful to them, so it's good. I mean, the whole idea of that channel was to be able to pull other people forward, because I know how it feels in the beginning, and when you got in pieces and stuff like that, so prayerfully, whoever goes there, that they get a lot of value out of those videos. I just haven't created any in a long time, so
You're a beast. You're a beast. I know you're doing some good data. I mean, you were. I'll watch some of them. All right,
right.
Philly. Final thoughts on people getting started or looking for the next wholesale. What was the most important thing if you had to tell somebody starting out today?
Take massive, consistent action. Start where you are, wherever that is. I don't know where that is for anybody. But so the easiest thing to do, like I live in Philadelphia, so I don't even have to go out my way to find vacant properties. So if you don't have any money to market, I mean, you don't have any money to buy a list, then jot down addresses of those properties that you come across that clearly look like they're vacant, right? And then you go to the tax assessor's site in your county, look that person up who owns it, and send them a letter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like handwrite it. It's real simple. Hi, my name is whatever your name is. I'm contacting you about 123 Main Street. We're interested in buying it. One, if you're interested in selling it, you can contact me at the phone number below, and that's it. And They interested in stuff. But this is my thing, me personally, what I would suggest, but may not have access to tools like this, like I have TLO, so I can get the most current phone number. So I'd rather pick up the phone and call somebody
Quicker.
than to send it take too long to get a letter.
Yeah, you got the
For
deal
all,
done by the time my
for
postcard
all
gets
I
there.
know, for all I know, while I'm sending a letter, Chris is calling her up or calling him up and offering to see if they want to sell the property. So if you have, there's resources for stuff. They may not be as good as the paid services, but you got to do what you got to do, and you got to start with where you are. So just Google is our friend. Just Google whatever it is that you're trying to find out where all this stuff is related, and go from there.
Yeah.
411, whatever.
I think people want to have it perfect, Philly. They want to have the perfect letter, which the letter is irrelevant.
Right,
All we want to do is get this shit open.
right.
Getting it open
Yeah.
is the hardest part.
And like I said, and if you're calling folks up, that's my recommendation. Hi, this is Iman. I'm calling you about 123 Main Street. I wanted to know if you were interested in selling. So they're going to give you, there's going to be one of two answers, yes or no. And if it's no, all right. How is your life? Because they said no. It hasn't, right? You're still the same person you were before you made the phone call. The
Mm.
world didn't crash down. They say yes. Great. Could you tell me a little bit about the property? How many bedrooms? How many baths? What condition? Well, it's vacant. I mean, is it full rehab? Does it just because it's boarded up doesn't mean it has to look like a shithole inside,
Nope.
right? Right. And for
Yep.
those who board the inside, they know what they're doing. A lot of people board from the outside. You board your property up from the inside to prevent folks out there from getting inside your property. So
Nice.
when it's like a lot of times it may be that it's in not in bad condition, but it needs work, right? And then you take it from there, you
Mm.
know.
Nice.
And well, I'll get back to you. I need to check the comps and see, based on the information that you gave me, and then I'll call you back with an offer.
Based on the
Simple
information
as
you
that.
gave, I love it. Based on what you said, I love it.
Listen, I will call cold call in a minute, especially if it's something this high.
Hmm.
Seriously, phone call. I
Nice.
had a situation upstairs and I'm gonna shut it down. I saw a property. It was boarded up. I skip traced the woman. The owner lived in Long Island, New York. Um, she told me it's a total gut job. I asked her, was she interested in selling? In fact, I am. She said, it's a total gut job. Okay, fine. I didn't go inside the property. Everybody that's an investor knows what a freaking gut job knows what it looks like. I don't need to go in there and take pictures. I didn't even feel like being bothered with taking the board down, all that stuff. It sold the same day after we put it on the MLS. I will tell you that. I had under contract for $2,500. It sold for $13,500 in the
Wow.
same day.
So MLS, you gonna
No
drop that
pictures.
packet? What?
Yeah,
No picture.
I jotted the address down. That stuff still works. Right there.
Unbelievable.
You see a vacant
Unbelievable.
property, jot the address down. And guess what? You can always look it up and find out what the mailing address is for that person. You can go knock on a door. I've done it. Hi,
You
I
do
happen to be in
you
a that you own, 123 Main Street. I just, want to stop by and see if see if you were interested in selling. Well,
wow.
how do you get information, ma'am? How do you get my It's public information. It's not a secret, okay? Anyway, I'm just offering you ways. If you're starting out and you don't have a whole lot of financial resources to do a lot of things that myself or Chris have mentioned on this, you got to be creative, man. You know, and it's not going to happen until you take action. You got to take action.
Hmm.
You know, listen, it's better to take action and be fearful than to be fearful and take no action. Because you're not going to get a result when you're fearful and don't take action. Take
Wow.
action, feel the fear anyway, and
Nice.
then just push. We've all been there. Chris
Yeah.
too.
Oh my goodness. Well, my thing is,
In
it
the
was worse
early
for us, Philly. I just feel like these people don't know. There was no internet training or comps online when I started. It was, it was in a book. It was like there was no internet.
right.
So, all right, class. Philly, don't
Right.
go nowhere yet. I want to highlight you before we leave. Class, subscribe to my channel, please. Please
Subscribe
hit
to
the
the trick.
thumbs up.
Channel.
Yes. And don't forget tomorrow, I'm going to do, someone has hired me to do a training on land trust class. I'm done training on land trust. I'm going to
Awesome.
do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it one time. And if you're watching tomorrow, I'm going to give you a discount on my land trust. If you want to buy mine, you can. I'm going to give you a discount. The webinar tomorrow, the training, the video will not be on my channel. I'm going to record it. They've already paid me to do it, so I'm gonna do it for you. And I'm gonna offer a discount for the docs during the training. And after the training, that's it. If you want to get it, I'm gonna send you to the training, the webinar. So I'm gonna take 1,000,000 questions tomorrow on land trust. We're gonna go over it. I'm gonna break it all the way down, explaining it to this person that's already hired me. They've already paid for it for you, so it's for you for free. You can see how it works, how we title houses. Philly, are you using land
That's
trust?
my suggestion to anybody hearing this. If you're available, I would make sure I was on that. Seriously. Like, that's going to be some very valuable information that Chris is going to talk about. Seriously.
My goodness.
It's powerful. That land trust stuff is very powerful tool.
Yes. All right, class. God bless you. Philly, don't go nowhere. Class, I see you soon. Peace. Where am I at? I don't want to lose you, Philly.